Well, hello, my beautiful community. I'm so excited to be back. It has been over a month. Happy 2026 if you celebrate 2026. For me, I don't begin my new year until March. So, where have in the world have I been? Okay. I'm not playing Carmen Sandiego. If you don't know who Carmen Sandiego is, it was this awesome book when I was little. And you have to finding Waldo, you have to find, travels all over. So it was sneaky. You can never find her. Actually, I've been sick. So I went through COVID, through the two flus, and here I am. My voice is kind of back. So today's episode, I really wanted to start this 2026. I see so much stuff about manifestation and intention setting. And so today's episode is going to be something I've never really talked about publicly because I always get scared, but you always want to know, like, how do you do things? I do not believe in manifestation. Why manifestation kept me broke and small. And this is just my experience. I wanted to share with you what really changed my life. Been part of the of the beauty industry. I started beauty school in 2016. So I count beauty school because there was so many hard and valuable lessons when I was in beauty school that would transform to who I am today. And so as in 2026, this year will be the 10-year mark of since I started beauty school. It would be 9 years that I've had my license. And it has been an amazing period of transitioning. If you don't know a little bit about me, so you're in this part too if you have a business. I was an assistant. I rented a chair. I had a salon suite. And then I went into my mobile salon, transforming my camper into the mobile salon that I have now. Selling it and not selling it. So today's episode, I would really want to talk about why I don't believe in manifestation, why it kept me small, and what I did instead. So if you're a person where you're like, okay, starting a new year, you're hearing about manifestation and vision boarding, why I really don't believe in that. And I was going to share this is my story, just my perspective on this, and I hope this helps you, whether it's in your business or in your life. As you know, I'm a mama of three, so I'm always like, how can I make my life better, not just to myself, but to everybody else? So first, why I don't believe in manifestation. Manifestation comes from a lack, okay? So I want you to think if you're manifesting something, you're thinking about something that you don't have. And that was one of the biggest lessons that it took me to learn really fast in the beginning of my career. So when I started beauty school, I got diagnosed with something health-wise that causes my aura. And an aura is like when you wake up and you see the little stars in your vision, you get dizzy all the time. That happens to me every single day of my life. And there's no cure for it. There's no medication for it. I've tried them all. So I really had to learn how to live, work, and do everything while being dizzy, pretty much. Like that has been my life since, I turned 30 years old. So that's been almost 10 years. This year's going to be 10 years that happened. And it literally happened right after my birthday. I started having this horrible migraine. And manifestation, like in my life, like I'm thinking lately as I've been sick in bed, I'm like, what the difference in my life? Like, why do I not believe in manifestation? I keep in vision boarding and I've done vision boards, but none of that shit ever worked. Why? Like I've been thinking about that. I'm like, why not work for me? And what does work for me in my life and in my business? What is the common denominator of where I'm at today? And the reason for that is because if you manifest, you're going from want, and want comes from a lack mentality. That means that you don't have that thing. So when you are doing like a manifesting, for example, a house, you're the whole time you're not thinking about that dream house. You're thinking about how you don't have that dream house. When a problem arises, when a bill comes up, when you dip into your savings when you're trying to save money to buy that house, you start going into the lack of, and that's why manifestation has never worked for me. Vision boarding, I remember I used to cut the little magazine strips and put them all in a little cardboard box, little cardboard poster, and be like, okay, this is gonna happen. I'm gonna travel and I'm gonna have this and that. Shit never came true either. And I started noticing this pattern because I've gone to manifestation, gone to vision board parties. And this is not saying like we're the same. I feel like each individual, you have to see what works for you. But manifestation really for me started becoming like this thing of like what lacking. And just a fair warning for 2026, I am in the process. This is month two of going anti-capitalism. So I'm a lot about capitalism and becoming anti-capitalism. because a capitalist society, it's literally not beneficial for anybody except for the big boss. Like even for the five people that control everything, we're all like under kind of what really means to be successful, what it really means to be, the person. And it has nothing to do with getting the house, getting the job, putting all our worth in our work. And so what happened with me with manifestation, because I don't believe in it, this is why I did instead. Anytime I want to achieve something, I don't wish for it. I don't wait for it. I don't want that thing. I become the person that would be doing that thing. So let me share this example with you. So I knew I wanted to work, for example, right out of beauty school. I knew I wanted to work with a brand, okay? And I really believed in their product at that time, believed in the company values at that time. You go on the inside, you learn how really things work. But that's for another episode. And because I knew I wanted, I'm like to be that person. I need to be the educator that would be working for that company, showing up as the educator, showing up as the person that utilizes this product. So instead of wanting something, I became that person, which eventually will lead me to end up working with that company. And then I got the title of international educator, and then I left. Left because I wasn't no longer in alignment. Like I think like 2020 me really helped me take off the little blindfold in my eyes that I thought brands really gave a crap about us as hairstylists, as beauty pros. I feel like the true colors came out and I was like, I don't want to work for a brand anymore. Like they are just in it for them, right? They don't really truly care about the educator. They don't really care about the industry. Is what's profitable for them. And when we need them, they're not really there for us. So that's when I decided to step back. Like some be like, oh my gosh, that's such a stupid move, Celeste. But for me, like because I always have this belief and not in an egotistical way. It's in the way that I believe in my life, I can become that version of myself that needs to be there for that next level. Okay. Found our house, like for example, when we bought our house, like this is just another example. I manifesting my house. I did. I was to the point where I didn't care anymore. We had to get the loan. We got approved. And I was like, you know what? We're gonna try. And then I honestly, we're in the process of buying our house, and I'm just like, I got to the point. It was like two before we closed. Escrow. And if you've never bought a house, it's so fucking stressful. They ask you for everything under the moon if you're self-employed. Okay. We have to look back to our records like 5 years ago. It's insane. They want to know where every single dollar is coming from, right? To give you a loan on a house. And I wanted to live in a certain city. And the time we tried to buy a house, which was like 2 away from where I originally wanted to really live, it go through. Then, a year later, we get approved for like so more money, and we get approved on a house that I didn't even think we're gonna get. I was just like, whatever, I'll put an offer on that thing. And I just didn't think about it. And during the whole process of the stressful part of it, I knew that if it was meant for me and it was going to become my house, it would happen. And I was just to a point where I'm like, I don't care. I'm stressed out. I'm over this. If I don't get the loan, I don't give a shit no more. Like, whatever, giving our deposit, deposit to a house. It's a lot of money. And I had to believe in myself. And if I lose that money, it wasn't meant for me. And for some reason, the universe, life is trying to teach me my ass a lesson and whatever. Like, I need to be worthy, to be happy, to feel fulfilled, to have a happy home. I don't need to own a house. I don't need to have a mortgage. And I went to that and we ended up getting our house. It wasn't the house I really wanted, but I'm learning to love you, girl, mid-century house. So she needs a little lift here and there, if you know what I mean. But that's how I got this, right? And I'm noticing, publishings, right? Like I've 13 organic publishings. Again, this episode, I'm talking about why I don't believe in manifestation. I feel like every time when I manifest something, I go into the lack of what I don't have. And my brain naturally goes into, instead of like, I'm gonna get that, it goes into like, I'm not have that. So it goes into like, can't even get that. It goes into self-doubt. And that's why I don't believe in manifesting. I really believe in becoming that person, even if you don't have the money, okay? So I remember I was going through a transition period when in 2021, when I couldn't open my left hand. And I was like, what the hell am I going to do? I have so much free time. And I started walking. Okay. And like, well, if I want to become the next version of myself, she needs to be healthy and she has free time. So now she can take an account of being healthier. Doesn't mean I'm gonna be skinnier. Doesn't mean my clothes gonna fit nicer. It just means that I'm healthier, right? I'm eating better. I'm exercising, going on walks. Um, excuse me, I'm journaling. I'm living a healthier lifestyle. I am going to therapy. I am meditating. All the beautiful things started happening when I started becoming that person. And now I have a lifestyle, and now I have a type of business where I get to be a mom first, and my business fits my life. I am no longer working in that 9 to 5 circle of having to be productive all the time because I have become the person that I wanted. And having a house really taught me that lesson that we get taught in society, right? Like you're successful when you have the house. So I have a house in the place I wanted to live at. Does that make me successful? No, honestly, like we've had this conversation with my children, and one of the happiest places that they ever lived, we were struggling. We were paycheck to paycheck. And there was no AC. I have AC in my new house. There was no AC. It was super fucking hot. It was like 104, and it was like an oven inside, and we were just like sweating. I was just so happy. I was making videos there. We would just play and just do random things, and we were just like so and excited for different things in life. And that's what I mean. Like sometimes, and I didn't know how happy I was in that moment. It was before all the heartache, before all the horrible things happened in my life, that I'm not ready to talk about publicly, but it changed me as a mother. It changed me as a human being because what I went through was hard. And I'm sharing that with you because that's why I don't believe in manifestation. I feel like manifestation is you going to lack of. And, being 39 years old, I look back in my life and I'm like, fuck, man, like that was the best time of my life. Or like when I was single and like, I had so much fun. I was doing nothing bad. I was just like going to concerts by myself and just going out to eat and just going out and like being my friends when I didn't have my kid and just like, a book and just having an organized, clean room and just feeling so fulfilled and happy. And also, as I've gotten older and my children are growing older, and I'm about to have an 18-year-old this month, I'm just like, shit, life goes like this. People are so, it's so true. Life goes like this in the blink of an eye. So enjoy what you have. You are. Love the stage you're in your life because one day all that shit changes, changes, right? You start getting more wrinkles in your face and you start getting gray hairs and your hair texture changes and your body changes. And just with like this 2026 and being so like I fear and I manifestation and vision boarding, like I will tell you that it's okay if you're like me and you're like, you know what? We're still in winter. Like the leaves are falling off or our trees are mostly like barren. They look dead, but they're not dead. They're in hibernation. Like bears, animals, right? They're in hibernation. So why is it? I am always like a belief of like really nature. And very mindful of that. If nature is in a quiet, restful period, it's okay if you take a restful period. And with that, I really want to talk about business, okay? I think it's so important with manifestation in business. So it's really kind of funny. I've never really wanted to have more than 3,000 followers on Instagram, I'm being honest. If you tell me like, so what's your dream number of followers on Instagram? I'll be like 5,000, 555 followers. Okay, I love number five. So I was like, that would be my dream amount of followers. But for me, it's more about impact, right? And having a business that gives me free time so that I can give back to my community is very important to me. So it's not just about making money and being able to stay home. For me, it's also like, how can I use that free time to give back to my community, right? And I do like Project Grad. I volunteer my daughter's school. I do donations in different organizations that I believe in and I really care about. I love supporting others, supporting like small owners. There's so many things like within my own family, right? Because even for me, coming from a Latin culture, it's no longer about competition. I don't believe in that shit. If my family does offers a service that I need, I'm gonna hire my family. They may not be the cheapest, but you know what? I know it's gonna get done right, and I'm supporting somebody I believe in. So all these beautiful things happen through an abundant mindset. And I think that is very important. And really do want to preface this that in business and in life, I know it can be very hard to do that switch and that flip depending on your cultural and your background in life. I got a life where I had a nanny. I had a life where I've been in private school. And then I've also had a life of my, you know, have anything to eat. Like literally have like tortillas. That was it. We were in Guatemala during that time. Um, I deported from Guatemala to the US because I didn't have papers in Guatemala and ended up living with my grandpa. I've had a lot. I've had nothing. I've had to walk to school. Literally, it took me 2 hours, 2.5 hours to get to freaking school, and I was crying the whole time. And I promised myself that I would become successful when I grew up. I remember that, and that was my driving force for such a long time because I did go through so many things in my life where I didn't have money. I didn't have a fucking dollar for a taco, okay? Like I had stomach issues and I've been able to like fix how help my body heal my gut because there was times where I didn't have money to eat, you know? So many things that have happened. Talking to my children, he remembers this one time he wanted a Happy Meal. My red light was on my Honda. So, very economical. They don't use a lot of gas, but I only had enough money either for like the meal or like get gas. I literally had like $7 in my bank account, and I'm not gonna cry, but I just want to really share this today. I've been there. I've been that broke mom, single mom. I've been there where I haven't had enough money to pay a bill. I've been there where I've had to get cash advances to being the person now that has the savings, to being the person now who I'm mindful of how I spend my money, how it affects my, how it affects, how it affects nature. I'm more mindful. I thrift now. I'm always getting back. I'm always thinking about the environment. That's why I have a mobile salon. That's why I decided to use an old camper that was probably going to end up being gutted or end up somewhere in the garbage can and make it my own mobile, right? Instead of buying a brand new one. So there's so many things that I do now in my life. Looking back at it, I am in a space that I have accomplished more than I ever dreamed of. And it was because I do not believe in manifestation. Vision kept me small. All the things I've ever wanted in my life have happened because I become that person, right? So, how can we utilize this in your business to make you a better person and, in your life when you don't see the results, okay? So, let's talk first about life. So, life quickly, like let's say like I want to lose weight. I really do. I just got sick, so I lost 7 pounds, so that's awesome. But I'm also eating healthier. Like after I got sick, I'm like, really need to take care of my body. So I've been eating more fruits and veggies. And I watched this documentary on how many fruits and veggies we're supposed to have, which is like 20 to 30 a week. I was like, shit, I'm not even doing that. So I'm more mindful, eating more fruits and veggies and stuff. So this stuff, may not show the results I want to, but I feel better, right? Like after I got sick, I have my regular doctor and I have a holistic doctor. So I went to go take a vitamin B shot, in your booty. And it gave me like, I was feeling so down and depleted after being so sick. That's why I haven't posted on Instagram, right? So I'm taking care of my body and that shows because now I can show up today and do this podcast episode. And business, okay? I right now, and I want to acknowledge that I have a lot of people in my life, I don't know why, that have businesses or are employed. But I would say probably like more are self-employed and 40% have a regular like job. No, got a hospital, have a lot of nurses in my life. But no matter like your situation, I know right now it is a very interesting time. Okay. There's people are going high up, doing amazing, are keeping the same or struggling. We're self-employed or have a 9 to 5 job. This is not for scarcity. Okay. We're talking about that. In your business, you need to become the person that you want to be, right? So if you want your job, right? If you want to make more money in your job, when's the last time that you asked for a raise? When is the last time you looked at what new positions are opening? When is the last time that you sat down with your manager, like, hey, I want to talk about what my 5-year plan with this company would look like, right? When is the last time that you took that big scary step to be like, you know what, like I grow anymore, I'm stagnating this company, it's time for a move. Or when is the last time that you looked in your life and you're like, okay, so I talked to my job, I have a regular 9 to 5 and, all they can do for me. Am I willing to stay somewhere where I'm comfortable and change my lifestyle? And do things that I no longer need in my life so I can have more room for to be home, for you to not have to work all the time. You want to work more and be way more away from home, making those decisions in your life, right? Like if you think about how I don't believe in manifestation or in vision boarding, it's more about becoming that person. And some that person is going to require changes. So in your business, maybe you're like, okay, Celeste, like right now, I want to get more bookings. Like I do get more bookings. And like I listened out another estimate yesterday. I've been sending out a lot of proposals for weddings up this year. And honestly, May, I have one more date and May is booked. And I'm so excited. I'm like, yeah, yeah, one of my heavy months. So, all booked out for May, which is awesome. Having said that, like, I'm becoming the person that's getting booked out. Now, I want to share this with you. I've been sick. Okay. So I got COVID and two flus in less than 3 months. Okay. And I have my immune system is not like everybody else's. So it took a bigger toll on me. I haven't posted on my Instagram in, I think it's like 9 days. Let's double check. I'm not gonna lie to you. So let me look on here. I haven't posted on TikTok. I haven't posted none of that crap. So let's see. The last time I posted was on December 25th. Okay. So I posted on my Instagram account for almost 2 weeks. Okay. I'm still inquiries. Okay. On my business. And I'm still replying to them even though I'm sick. Why is that happening? It's because I have a system where it doesn't rely on me having to be on social media, right? For me, it's my website. For me, it's SEO, right? Search engine optimization. It's how you get found on the web. For me, is I've done the work for so long now that I'm established enough that my business continues to work in business, right? Even when I am sick like a dog, right? Like I was sick. And I'm sharing that with you because I haven't posted that for 2 weeks, right? So what have you done to become the person that's getting booked out all the time? Like, okay, maybe you posted in 2 weeks. It's okay. You can post today. What have you done in your business to create visibility, to grow your brand? What are the tools that you're utilizing? I'm not relying solely on Instagram or Facebook, like, right? I'm not relying solely on Pinterest. I'm not relying solely on my website. I'm not relying solely on one thing. I'm constantly always working to becoming that person that wants to be booked out at a certain level, right? Like I don't want to be booked out fully the whole year. Like that sounds to me. I don't want to be booked out for 2027. Have I gotten inquiries for 2027? Yes, I have. But I am becoming the person that lives her day to day and leaves room for magic in her life. And it doesn't hurt my feelings if somebody's posting every day, posting 3 times a day. Good for them. They have a different goal because I am becoming the person that I want to be in my business. So with this whole podcast episode today, it's really becoming. Like becoming means action that's going to get you to that end result, right? For 2026, I don't have any goals. And I know it sounds so crazy. I just had a meeting this morning. I was talking about marketing and education because I've taken a pause. It's really, when I time feel like something's out of alignment, I'll pause. I will. Like I was sick. I did not feel like posting. I wasn't in the right mindset. A lot of other things were happening at that time. So I was like, I can't post right now. So I took a pause and nothing bad happened. I see inquiries, my business is still growing. And I'm sharing that with you today because if manifestation or vision boarding doesn't feel right for you, that's totally okay. If starting the year on January 1st sounded like a bad idea, that's okay too. Like you do not have to start your year with everybody else. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing, right? More than manifesting, more than taking time to cut out pictures and put them in a poster board. If that works for you, that's amazing. If not, how are you becoming the person that you want to be? Something that people never told me that I wish somebody would have told me that I want to share with you today that I've learned is that you need to learn to become the person that feels right for you. No amount of money or success is going to give that to you. I wanted a house. I wanted a peaceful life. I had to become that person. And I've had to let go of a lot of people in my life. My circle is small. And at first it felt weird. I felt like I was a loser. I'm like, oh my gosh, it has all these friends. And like I have only five. And then I'm like, oh my God, but those five people will like bring me soup, bring me tea if I'm sick, check up on me, take me to an appointment, help me out I'm in need. Like that's the people in my life. So I am so grateful to have five people I can rely on. They may all live close to me, but I am so grateful they're in my life, right? And the most valuable thing that we have is health. And like we're here on earth for such a finite time. We're not here forever. So make your life count. With like my business that I've done that has worked out is because I went against the grain. I don't want to be like everybody else. I want a business that is sustainable for my lifestyle. My lifestyle, my home life comes first. Because I know, like, if I decided tomorrow stop doing hair, my children are going to remember who I was. My children are going to care if I'm still here on this earth. My clients, I don't know how they would feel after 20 years of me disappearing from no longer doing hair. They probably won't care as much as my children will, right? So for me, it's all also about legacy, right? Like what example I'm leaving for my kids when I'm no longer on this earth. What kind of side, like what kind of did I lead as a mom for them? And that's why I think it's so important with my children, especially is to teach them that, manifesting is, I mean, it works for people, vision boarding works for some people, but it's mostly like, what are you doing to get to your goal? Like, what are you to bring to in your end goal is always your happiness. Like, I always tell my kids, like, I don't care if you go to college or not. One of them decided to go to college, but I'm like, I don't care if you go or not. Like, I just want you to be happy, kid. Like, because one, I'm gonna be here, and you're gonna be spending a lot of time at work. So make sure it's something that you love. So that's why I don't believe in vision boarding. Sorry. That's why I don't believe in manifestation. I really believe you need to become the person that you want to be. And you do not need to have a lot of money. You do not need to have a lot of resources. Like, I want a healthier version of myself. I started walking. I wanted to get more found online. So I started learning about search engine optimization. I wanted to learn more about marketing. So I take marketing classes. I not just take marketing classes, I'm always playing around with my marketing, what's working, what's not. I make mistakes. Some of my posts get 5 likes. Some of my posts gets 100 views. Some of my posts get 2,000 views. Some of my posts get 5,000 views. Some of my posts get 11,000 views. Some of my posts get only 120 views. Like, you see how it fluctuates, and I don't make it mean anything about me. I make it fun, right? I'm becoming a better person and a better person on marketing by making mistakes, by experimenting, by becoming that person who's always curious. So for 2026, what is the word for you? Like I told you, I have no goals, but my word for 2026 is hope. Hope always things are going to get better. Hope that as a collective, we decide to take our power back because I honestly, like, I don't know if it's just me, but I am just so tired of being sold freedom of time and freedom of life. We have our lives, we have our time, we control it, right? And it's hard when I wish I would have known this earlier in my life. I wish I would have known that I always had control of my life and my lifestyle. If I would have, instead of wasting thousands of dollars on stupid bags, on stupid high-end clothing, because everything had to be marked, branded. I could not wear a thrifter, like thrifting. No way. When I was in my 20s, no fucking way. I was that person, but I'm not her anymore. I don't give a shit about that stuff, because life means so much, right? And oh my gosh, like if I was younger, what would I tell my younger self, right? Thinking about 2026, I'd be like, girl, you could have so much more time with your kid, go volunteer in his classroom, have a great life. You could have a $99,000 condo in Myrna Park. And with the you and your kid would have been so good and renting one room out to a roommate and live super comfortably and be at home with your baby. And God, my life would have been so different, but I was so caught up with listening to fucking society that, I was mom and how can a mom have a house? I never heard about that, single mom house. Like I was terrified of that, so I never bought it, right? I regret that shit now, but I didn't buy it at that time. I had a stable job and I looked successful. I had the nice car, I had the nice clothes, I looked the aesthetic, but reality is I was so sad. I was so broken. I was so fucking broke. So, like that's been vision boarding. I'm like, what we are becoming today. Today, when I have this dream of owning a certain type of house in a certain type of place, okay? And I know I will have it one day. I know I will. And it's not in my vision board. I don't do a vision board. I don't have manifestation. I don't have none of that stuff. But I know it's going to happen. I'm not waiting for that thing to happen in my business. I'm a certain goal, not a goal. It's just like a certain vision I have for my business. I know it's gonna happen one day. I don't know when that's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen this year. But I'm working day towards becoming that person, and I'm not waiting to be happy or fulfilled until that happens. I'm being the person who is happy and fulfilled with what I have where I'm at today. And for 2026, I just really hope that we all get more into like really becoming who we want to be rather than chasing an end goal or chasing a dream or chasing something superficial that doesn't really fucking gonna make us whole. And I think honestly, like this house was the biggest life lesson for me that it doesn't make you better, it doesn't make you happier. You're either happy and your life is gonna be peaceful and happy because you are happy. Like the house is gonna make you happy, like art is so you happy. You make yourself happy. You have the lifestyle, you have the business that you want to have because you're becoming that person, because you're taking the actions to be that person, even when you're freaking sick, even when your whole voice is not up to par, like today, as 40 and 3 months. I think that I want to start with this year is that I do not believe in manifestation. I do not in vision boarding. I really do believe in becoming that person. And as a mommy of three, as a person who's had nothing, had everything, start over from nothing. I've learned so much in life, and that is that, value love you, value your health, value those loved ones, because we never know who's gonna be here tomorrow or not. And life like this, it changes. And all the shit and business and our successes and accolades, that shit don't matter if you're not happy. That shit don't matter if you're not healthy, right? And we need to, I really want to learn to value my family. I love them so much, but to love them and value them so much more. So I hope this episode really helped one of you. Thank you so much. I have a free guide if you want to go ahead and grab it below. And I will see you back here next week. Bye, love.